Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we are discussing a Royal Oak self-winding that most would describe as the Midsize. This model, launched in 2020, was sold in 2020, and was a limited edition of 100 pieces in white gold. But it is arguably not the gold, but the gems that define this limited edition, with purple Grande Tapisserie dial and a number of sapphires and diamonds to match the radiance. This is a 1,000-watt watch in a manageable size. So let's talk about that size, then we'll talk about the gems. 37 millimeters in diameter. It's 10 millimeters thick. If we're just counting the case, then the lug-to-lug span is 46.8 millimeters. Add these little intermediate links called the plots, and the total rigid expanse across the wrist is 51.2, which is why I consider this to be a mid-size, not a lady's size. In practice, it wears about the same as the 39 millimeter case size, and on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, you can see I've got some clearance to put this on a smaller wrist, but it doesn't look tiny. The watch has a nice clearance, so if you do want to wear it under a tight sleeve or cuff, there's going to be no issues there. And I would recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference, maybe even 13 and a half, because the strap is a little bit more flexible than if it were on a full bracelet. The strap is a lovely piece, large rectangular scale alligator leather, gloss finish, a little bit of a distressed graining to it. It is purple like the dial, and it has a bonded construction, which means the alligator leather on the top has been bonded to the calfskin on the bottom, so there is no stitching of seams. It creates a very clean, minimalist strap aesthetic. You can see this is an Audemars Piguet factory strap in excellent condition. On the other side, you can see that they went all the way with this watch. So we have a white gold clasp that includes brilliant cut diamonds set on the buckle, and inside it's a friction fit snap shut white gold AP single fold logo that is AP style clasp. Rolling around to the case, this one features many diamonds on the buckle, on the lug hoods, on the flanks, even at the index at 12 o'clock. So in terms of gems, we have quite a few on this watch. We have 40 sapphires amounting to 0.96 carats, and the diamonds, there's a lot of them, 124 amounting to 2.09 carats. The watch does feature a screw-down crown. It is 50 meters water resistant. If it were on a different strap that were water tolerant, this would be sufficient screw-down and 50 for surface swimming. Now, an interesting quality of Audemars Piguet white gold is that they often use rhodium to make it truly white. White like platinum would be white. As a result, it's a more natural match for the white of the diamonds. Now, if you want to see what unplated white gold looks like, look carefully, but take a look at the white gold hex bolts in the bezel. Those are unplated white gold because that is a tradition on Royal Oaks. And so you can see it's a warmer color than the bezel itself, and certainly warmer than the case flank. So that is unplated white gold. And those are bolts. That's how they're able to align the slots all the way around. Those are hex shaped. So is the crown. The two are designed to echo each other. You can see the character lines of the bezel continue into the mid case and the case back. Gerald Genta created the first Royal Oak, the 5402 in 1972. The inspiration for the rounded octagonal bezel was a vintage dive helmet, so that is the genesis of the design. The dial, as you can see, is a true lathe cut hobnail dial, so you can see all of those tiny little bumps and divots. And this fine texture is created by the pantograph mimicry lathe that cuts the petite and the Grande Tapisserie dials. The Tapisserie is a hobnail design, but if you get very close, you could see that there are between 10 and 20,000 little dots on the dial. And that's really the difference between the artisanal lathe-cut pantograph dials and the Mega Tapisserie, which is cut for, well, it's not cut, it's actually stamped for the Royal Oak offshore. The Petite and the Grand are actually lathe turned, which is why if you look very carefully, you can see all of these patterns are in circular form as they're laid down on the dial. Now, the dial and the disc for the date are purple, and it is a very strong color on a watch, which is why this watch does not need to be large to make an impression. The movement, caliber 3120, is an Audemars Piguet in-house automatic. It features stop seconds, and it also features a quick-set mechanism for the date. You should note that the watch also includes white gold hands, AP logo, and indices so that they will not fade, oxidize, or tarnish over time. You can also see a characteristic of these watches, which is that the inner bezel is actually mirror polished to better reflect light onto the dial. Speaking of light, let's check out the lume. The watch is lumed, and actually quite generously. Turning it over now, you can see on the reverse side, acknowledging that this is a limited edition of 100 pieces, and it says so right there. The movement, caliber 3120, is about 26.6 millimeters in diameter. You can see the coats of arms of the Audemars and Piguet family. These two families, the founders back in 1875, and they put them there. So you remember that AP is the oldest continuously operating Swiss watchmaker that is continuously owned and run by members of the founding families. It's a bidirectional winder for smoothness. They didn't want the unweighted wobble of something like a Velge 7750, but ceramic bearings are used to improve the efficiency of the winding. It's got a 60-hour power reserve. It's got a 3 hertz beat rate, stop seconds, quick set date, and then a full balance bridge with a free sprung balance for better shock tolerance. It is basically a sports watch movement, as this base was designed with the Royal Oak offshore in mind, so it's plenty tough for this borderline dress Royal Oak application. Now, you'll also note that the decoration is a medley of manual and machine finishing, particularly in the bevels, where you can see the milling marks if you look closely. But it is attractive, it is handsome, and it is price appropriate. You can also see that the underside of the case is actually media blasted, contrast with the polish and the circular satin of the case back. There are a lot of pleasing details here within and without. So reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.